Hi. We're going to do that one over.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Lieutenant Dan! Inconceivable!
Got a bad feeling about this.
Hi. Welcome back to another episode of Flix and Clix. This is Keelan, and today I'm joined by Micah and Jordan, and we are going to be reviewing Ratchet and Clank, A Rift Apart. Or Rift Apart, just Rift Apart. I guess it's the third full PS5 exclusive. Very exciting, very fun, but what did you guys think?
What are the first two?
Demon Souls was the first one, and then Returnal was the second one.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about that Shark Attack game? Just kidding. Actually, I think it is a PlayStation 5 exclusive.
I think it was free for PlayStation 5. It was one of those PlayStation 5 users get it for free, but PlayStation 4 users have to pay for it.
Suckers.
Yeah.
Losers.
Yeah, they suck. Just kidding. First, how are you guys doing?
I'm a kid.
That's
that
good.
Convincing?
Yeah. Well, there's some people at my church who have the virus, and I was around them on Thursday. So
Oopsie.
Then I started to get some symptoms, but now they're gone, so I don't think it's COVID.
Okay.
I know what you're probably thinking. Why don't you just go get tested? Well, I'd rather just call out for a day and play video games. So that's what I did today. It was
Gotcha.
good, but I'm feeling way better now. I'm at 100. So I'm
100.
going to go back to work tomorrow, which is going to be lame, but you know.
Hmm.
It is what it is.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah, I am also doing good.
How you doing, man?
Who are you talking to?
You.
I'm
man.
doing good. Yeah.
Great.
Doing lots of working and
At the car wash?
working at the car wash. Yeah. Lots of work, lots of wedding editing and stuff that just keeps dragging and dragging, but I'm doing good. It's good to be busy.
You edited a wedding of dragons?
Yeah.
Wow.
Very
that
bloody.
Sounds really cool. Why didn't you lead with that?
Oh,
Hi, my name's Keelan. Welcome to Flix and Clicks, and I filmed dragons.
That's how I'd start every conversation.
So today we're going to be, like I said, reviewing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. We're going to try to stay away from spoilers, especially since I haven't beaten it. But we'll see what happens when we get there. But for the time being, we'll stay pretty spoiler free. And we'll let you know once we start getting into some heavy spoilers. Not that, the lore is super deep or anything. But what did you guys think? Initial thoughts? What were they on of it for that game?
My initial thoughts were this is probably the best looking game that I've ever played in my entire life. It looked so good. I didn't even play it in the 30 frames high fidelity. I played it in the 60 frames with ray tracing, and it looked so good. It was insane the way all the bolts glowed and everything, and when you got to the giant golden bolt, it looked so good. So I just had a lot of fun playing it and staring at it.
I agree. It was very shiny. The gameplay is just so stinking smooth. And you think about other games that have come out recently, Cyberpunk, that weren't ready at all on release. This one was 100% ready. I had no problems with it. I think maybe that's not true. Maybe I had it crash one time. Mm-hmm. But I mean, every game crashes one time every once in a while, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the storyline as well, which I wasn't expecting. I was kind of expecting just to jump in and play cool gameplay and stuff like that. But the storyline was actually great. They introduced a lot of new characters, and they were awesome. And I just feel like it was kind of a home run in a lot of ways. The only other thing is The platinum is kind of a joke. It's way too easy and stupid. You beat the game and then you play for 10 minutes and you've got it. So I thought that was kind of silly. I thought that, like Spider-Man Miles Morales was easy. That one you have to beat the game twice. And I thought that was easy because it was. You have to beat the game twice and then do like 3 other things and then, get all the extras. But in this game, in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, you don't even have to get the extras to get the platinum. So, platinum, which I have already, so does Jordan and so does Tyler, is just a joke. So I wish that it was harder, but that's, nothing. That's the trophy hunter achievement guy in me, not the game critic, I guess, because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, Jordan and I talked about that a little bit, what was that, 2 episodes ago? And yeah, I even noticed, I remember getting, I think, my 5th Golden Bolt, and then I got the Golden Bolt trophy, and I was like, oh.
Don't have to get them all, just 5.
Yeah. And then I was thinking, back playing Ratchet and Clank games on the PS2, there's no trophies at all. And I was still wanting to get 100%. But now that we have the trophies, it changes things a little bit. But yeah, I really like this game. I'm excited to eventually beat it. I think I'm really close. But yeah, holy smokes, is it a beautiful game. It feels really good. The haptic feedback is awesome. The adaptive triggers is great. The 3D audio, that anytime you're in some sort of like club or bar or something that has bumping music and people talking around, you and you're wearing headphones, you like turn your character and walk around, and it feels like you're there. It's super awesome. And yeah, the ray tracing and everything, it looks amazing. The ray tracing is in the bolts even, and in their eyes, and me, I love photo mode, and I love I would say the reason why I haven't beaten it is I've spent probably like at least a third of my time with the game, probably a lot more, has been in photo mode.
Wow.
And Insomniac just crushes it with their photo mode, especially with their lighting things. But yeah,
zooming in. Shout out to Fuego Maego on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
Mostly Twitter.
But yeah, I mean, zooming in, you can see each individual hair on the eyebrows and everything. It's super cool. But yeah, I really enjoy the gameplay, the story. The guns are all awesome.
Sorry, hit the table. That was really loud.
And yeah, the new characters are great. And the way that they introduce already established characters, but from alternate dimensions that behave and act differently, I think was really cool. I will say the only thing that I am, not that I necessarily didn't like about it, but one of my favorite parts about the older Ratchet and Clank games was you jump into this planet and it's like the planet is kind of living and people there are doing their own thing, and each world feels lived in, and that isn't necessarily, at least to me, it's not really the case in this game. I think it's just because there's rifts popping up everywhere, and so everyone is freaking out 100% of the time, and it's the end of the world for everyone, which is fine, and the stakes are high and everything, which is cool, keeps the story going. But I miss the times when you walk around a planet and you find some guy that's like, hey, I want you to try to collect as many, like, go out and mine for me, or go join these races or anything. I miss the races. Those were so much fun. Racing, if it sounded like I said racists, I don't miss that. But yeah, overall, really, 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 really like the game. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys next week. All right. So moving into, yeah, we don't want to get into spoilers yet. Okay. So gameplay. What are some of your favorite guns from the game?
Oh man, Jordan.
Jeez.
There's a lot of good guns.
All of them. One thing I really, so there's a lot of them. I don't remember most of the names either. One thing I appreciated a lot about this game compared to the PS4 Ratchet and Clank is, I don't know if it was the power of the guns or the ammo capacity, but I felt like I was constantly switching my weapons because I had to, which sounds bad saying it out loud, but it was a lot of fun because you actually had to plan your fights around what weapons you had left, how close you could get. So I thoroughly enjoyed that. The Ricochet, I don't know if that's what it's called, but that, it wasn't my favorite weapon to use from like a damage output point, but the sound that comes out of the controller and the haptic feedback was just so much fun. I was like, okay, I can use this every fight until I'm out of ammo. So yeah, that was probably one of my favorites. And the little fungi dudes that they run around. Those were cool.
I like the topiary sprinkler, the one that turns everything into foliage. I thought that was just really fun. Sometimes, even though I was in the middle of a fight, I would just do it and then just walk around and look what everyone looked like as a plant instead of actually killing them like you're supposed to.
That's great.
And yeah, I mean, just so many different. There's a sniper rifle which is super cool. There's a rocket launcher called the Warmonger, which is super fun and does a ton of damage. I mean, they're all just... I feel like the most underwhelming was the Pixelizer, the one that they brought back. That one wasn't as fun to me.
Which was weird to me because that was one of my favorite weapons in the first one. That's how I did most of my fights, was the
Same.
disco thing and the Pixelizer.
Yeah, I'm glad that there is no disco. Groovatron, yeah.
Me too.
Especially you guys, because you still haven't platted that game because of that. Yikes. Yeah, there's some pretty rockin' heckin' guns in this game. Keelan, what are some of your favorites?
I really like the first blaster that you start out with, just because of the haptic feedback. Most of these guns, or if not all of them, they do a thing where you pull the trigger halfway down, and that's its primary fire. And you pull it all the way down, and that's its secondary fire, whether that's charging something up to be more powerful or locking onto something or just changing the fire mode entirely, which is what is the case with the original blaster or the first blaster. And so you hold it halfway down and it shoots not super slow, but not very fast, but it's pretty accurate. And if you pull it all the way down, it shoots rapidly, but the accuracy is all over the place. And if you upgrade it, I think it starts spreading the bullets out even more. You shoot in like 3-round bursts or whatever. But it feels really good to use, and I like that. And I really like the, I don't remember what it's called. It's like a drill gun, and you shoot drills that are like little dogs, and they like bark and dig into the ground and stuff. I think that's a lot of fun.
Those ones are fun, yeah.
And yeah, all of them are so good.
I like the lightning rod.
Okay,
Is that what it's called? The one where you shoot a guy, and then when he starts dancing, then the people around him will start dancing. But that, as you guys probably know from playing video games with me, that's like my favorite thing in any video game. That's what I use in Destiny. I just love the whole chain lightning effect thing.
Palpy.
Yeah, Palpy, man. It's what I'm all about in video games. So I use that one a lot. Like most weapons, when I got to level 5 and leveled them up all the way, I was like, okay, time to use a new weapon. That one I always had in my 4, just because it was so fun to whack people with.
Yeah. I also really like, I don't remember what it's called. It's the beam one. You get it fairly early on in the game.
Yeah.
And I use that one in boss fights. I usually throw down the topiary sprinkler and get the boss frozen or turned into leaves, and then I use the beam thing, and it makes the boss fights pretty easy, but it feels good because you're like combining things to make it work, which I like doing. But yeah.
Megatron Collider.
Yes, that's the one.
Another really great weapon was the new Rhino. I had so much fun with that because in one of the boss fights, I killed a boss by dropping the Sly Cooper van on him, and that made me so happy.
That might be a spoiler. Is that a spoiler?
I don't think so.
Keelan?
I haven't gotten the Rhino. I know what the Rhino is. They were like advertising that before. But
Yeah,
cool.
But it pulls different PlayStation properties, and I spent like 20 minutes just firing it into the sky trying to get the van back, and I never did. I was kind of upset.
Yeah, I'm excited to get that. But there's Yeah, it's hard for me just because I don't know where I am in the game. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty close to the end. And it's been, I don't know, maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks since I've last played it. But there's quite a few weapons, which I enjoy. Okay, moving on. The big reveal that was revealed in the reveal trailer, I guess. There are new Lombax, Rivet. What do you guys think?
I thought her character was awesome. She was a lot like deeper than I expected. There was a lot more like emotion behind kind of her motives and how she acted that took me by surprise. And I thought the voice actor did a really good job. I looked up her name at one point, but I can't remember.
I think it's Ashley Birch. I think.
That might be right. But yeah, I really enjoyed her character and playing as her character. One thing this game did that I really liked was you couldn't progress differently as each character. You progressed as one, so playing them felt similar, like combat wise, but they also felt separate enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And correction, Jennifer Hale is the one who plays Rivet. I think she plays Commander Shepard in the Mass Effect games as well, which is cool. But yeah, I really liked Rivet as well. I like her a lot more than this version of Ratchet, that's for sure. Ratchet in the older games is awesome, and Ratchet in this one is pretty good, but he's still like, it's like he's from a Pixar movie, which is fine and everything. And it looks like a Pixar movie, which is cool, but he behaves like he's in Toy Story, and he's just like this dumb little kid walking around all the time. Wow, look at that. And it's like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. And then he's like shooting people and killing them and blowing them up, and their green goo is exploding everywhere. But yeah, I really liked Rivet and Kit, which is the kind of Clank counterpart. I thought that was really cool. And yeah, her introduction of her like on the run from the nefarious guys, and she's like an undercover resistance fighter who has a really cool mask, and she has that prosthetic arm, which I think is a really cool touch. And then especially when her and Clank meet, he loses an arm, and that little bonding that they have with that, I think it was a really cool touch. Her hammer's super cool too. But yeah, I thought it was interesting that both characters progressed in the same way. I remember really early on in the game, before Rivet and Ratchet met, I was playing as Rivet and I switched over to Ratchet, and she's like, I wonder what Ratchet's doing. And I was like, how do you even know who that is? Like, maybe Clank said something, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't said anything yet at this point in the story. And I don't think I was supposed to switch characters that early, but yeah, at the end of the day, I like that the progression carries over, because it would have sucked if like some weapons were locked to certain characters, or some abilities and whatnot. And I'm glad everything was kind of the same across the board.
There have been other games where you play as like different characters and it seems kind of disjointed. Like Final Fantasy VII, the remake, felt kind of weird when you had to do that. I mean, most of the time you're running around as Cloud, but this game I didn't feel that at all. Just, I mean, they are the like counterparts of each other in the different realms. So it doesn't really, they are very similar in a lot of ways. But I just thought like the gameplay of all of it was just very cohesive, and like you said, you don't have to level up a weapon twice or anything like that. I thought it was super cool, and yeah, I no qualms here. So
yeah, man, this might be a short episode just because this game, while it is really fun to play, it's not particularly long, and it's a 3D platformer, so it's not particularly deep either.
Also, just so you guys know, if you hear lots of extra sounds, because my wife just got home with a bunch of groceries.
That's fine.
So, yeah.
Let's see. What are some highlights story wise in the first half? It doesn't have to be story, but maybe planets or things that you just really liked.
I enjoyed some of the planets that were more open world. So it's very linear, but also open world, kind of like Uncharted 4, where there would be really big open things that you could, kind of explore on your own, but then you're supposed to get to a specific point or do some specific objective along the way as you go. And that was very similar to that, and I thought it was a blast. You can move faster, you're fine. That's fine. Everyone knows that you're bringing in groceries. It's cool. She's like tiptoeing. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I'm glad that they gave you an upgrade for your boots so that you could move a lot faster, because that made it seem like a lot more fun. Just kind of I guess gliding all over the place was super fun. I also really enjoyed the character development in all four of the main characters. Their character development, I thought, was really good. And like you said, Keelan was for Rivet at least, was very deep. Or was that you, Jordan, who said that?
I said that.
Yeah. I just enjoyed how deep the characters were, because their, Kit is dealing with crippling anxiety the whole time. And that's a real thing people deal with. So it was just really cool to see that kind of manifest itself in these characters while they're saving the world at the same time.
Yeah, that was one thing I appreciated a lot about the game, is the characters' kind of internal problems were all very real and stuff that I could connect with, or stuff that I'll see in the real world. So it made it a lot more interesting. It didn't feel like I was playing a cartoony animated game anymore. It felt very real and deep, which was very welcoming.
Rated E10 plus.
Yeah, they were in an interesting spot with at least with Ratchet and Clank as characters, because this game takes place after a crack in time, I think was the last game in this storyline. But it's coming off the tails of Ratchet and Clank 2016, which is kind of its own thing and not really part of the official storyline. But they are acting just as they were in that game, and it's weird, because when Ratchet is talking about trying to find his people, the Lombaxes and stuff, if I remember correctly, he already has in a crack in time. I think he found his dad, and his dad ended up being a bad guy, and they ended up fighting or something. And yeah, and I haven't played those games all the way through, so maybe I'm missing something. But yeah, I thought from that viewpoint, I found Rivet's character a lot more engaging, just because it was fresh, and I didn't need to know anything. I didn't need to play 12 games to understand where she is at that point. And I think they tried to make it so that the people who didn't play the 12 games could understand where Ratchet was coming from, but also the people who did play the 12 games would be like, oh yeah, that's because of this that happened back then. And I think they played it really safe in both of those regards, and I think it ended up just coming up a little flat to me. But that's fine. Yeah, like we've all been saying, the gameplay is super good, and even the moments where Ratchet is showing some character development, I thought it worked really well. But yeah, I also liked the open world-esque maps or planets. The one with the monks I thought was really good. And there was one, I don't remember what the planet was called, but you're playing as Rivet, and there's a bunch of those quartz crystals or whatever around, and you have to hit them to go back in between the past and the present. And when you hit it and you're in the past, everything's like pristine. It's like a mining colony or something. Everything's pristine. The doors work and all that stuff. And then you hit it, and then everything's like blown up and the windows are broken, and that's how you can like maneuver around obstacles, which I thought was really good. There's a game that did that before, Titanfall 2, which is a phenomenal game. It had one of those mechanics in the campaign, which, I mean, in my opinion, did it better, but I thought this worked really well with how the interdimensional warping worked with you had to like activate the crystals or whatever. So I thought it worked out really well. And to go along with that, the music I thought was very serviceable and very well. There wasn't anything that like really stood out to me, at least so far with the score, but it was written by the guy who did Thor Ragnarok, and you can really like hear that kind of, I don't even know how to explain it, techno celestial, like spacey type of music, and I thought it really worked with this game. But yeah,
I enjoyed that that level world, I guess you could call it, really a lot too. You're just kind of going back and forth through the different realms, even on the same world. I thought that was super, super fun. Mm-hmm. Another one that was cool was the one where you're underwater the whole time, like in those tanks. You guys remember that? Where you're like way down under the water. That might be a later game world.
Where
there's like that
the
big monster. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Following you. That was a lot of fun. Very, very different. Because normally there's lots of little guys running after you. That one was like, there's only the one. Mm-hmm. Which sometimes there was some like amoeboids or something, but it wasn't too bad as far as like little ads. And so that was kind of fun and more scary. I played it when it was really dark outside too. So this isn't a scary game at all, but it was a lot more thrilling at those parts specifically. So I thought that was cool too.
Yeah, that was another really good world because the way it resolved, I think you have this robot like showing you around, and he thinks he's really good friends with the monster, but the monster is also trying to kill him if he's too close and everything. But with the dimensional shifts, the way it resolves is really good. And he wasn't actually a monster; he was just mistreated and everything. And then that kind of stuff I thought really worked. And every world has a really good kind of subplot for the most part that I really enjoyed.
Yeah, same. None of it felt like boring. None of it felt like, let's get back to the normal story at all. Mm-hmm. None of the worlds felt like that. They all seemed like they were adding something that was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Even the little like virus mini game modes had its own little, or has its own little subplot, and that was interesting to me. I was like, why do I care about this little robot that you only play as like 5 or 6 times? But I was invested in what she was doing.
I
definitely
played the first virus puzzle and the first Clank puzzle, and I skipped all the other ones.
The Clank puzzles were so fun this time, though.
And that was the thing, is that like
you just wanted to get back to photo mode.
Basically, yeah. I really enjoyed the main plot a lot. And so that's what always made me, once I knew that you could skip it and it wouldn't affect like your trophies or anything, I was like, well, heck yeah, I'll just skip it. Although the glitch, the little spider one, that's another one where she shoots these little blaster things, and it feels really good with the controller.
Yeah.
But
super good.
Yeah. A new thing in this game, not a new thing, but I would say a more robust version of something that has been in past games, not in 2016. The armor system. There's a ton of armor, ton of unlockable armor pieces. I think head, chest, and legs, and you can interchange them and change the paint and all this stuff, which I really enjoy. I love that kind of pointless stuff where it's just kind of vanity gear that doesn't change any stats or anything.
That's like the big thing in video games now. Like, as long as your skin on your character looks super cool, then like it doesn't really matter if you're trash at the game. I mean, that's like
That's my
every battle
philosophy.
royale or multiplayer online game now is all based on that. And I mean, I agree. It's a lot of fun when your character looks super cool. So I always tried to look for all the armor before I moved on, just so I could get them all, even though it wasn't a trophy.
Yeah. They brought back from Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. They brought back I forget what the armor set is, but the really cool armor set. I can't really explain it. What it looks like, metal.
The
I don't
really
know.
cool one,
Yeah.
man.
And then
Looks
they
like
also
armor.
It's
they
the
also
one that looks cool.
yeah they also brought back my favorite gun from Going Commando, which I don't remember what it's called. It's that shotgun, double barrel that you pull it halfway, you shoot once, pull it twice, or pull
The
it
equalizer.
equalizer. So good. It's very nostalgic, and the way
Have you fully upgraded it?
it's level 5. I know that.
You
Is
can
that
shoot it 5 times
holy smokes?
or 4 times. So you hold it down, it goes bub 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 bub, and then you have to reload.
Dang.
It's awesome.
Can you level things up past 5?
Only in challenge mode.
In New Game Plus, you can.
Okay. Yeah. Let's just talk about the trophies for a little bit. I know Micah's not a huge fan. Jordan, what did you think of that?
It was too easy. Like, it felt, I thought it would feel better to get the platinum than it actually did. When I was really close, I was super excited because I didn't get the platinum for the first one yet, or the PlayStation 4 one. But then there's only one trophy that pushes you into New Game Plus, and you only have to play New Game Plus for like 10 minutes, maybe. And after that, I just didn't care like about the game, so it was kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
Which sucks, but I still got it. So
Yeah. I know Insomniac, a lot of game developers are doing this, which I think is awesome. They're making their games a lot more accessible in terms of Xbox did that thing. They released a controller a couple of years ago that an accessibility controller that works really well from what I've heard. And then, anywhere from changing enemy colors for people who are, have a harder time seeing, and making things more bright and changing whatnot, slowing the game down. That's one that they added to Ratchet and Clank. All that is super awesome. But yeah, the trophy list for things where it's like, it's taken into account that people might just not have enough time to do it all. I think that's dumb. Like, I'm not a huge fan of that. If there was a trophy that was like, kill 1,000 people without dying and doing backflips and all that stuff, and they're like, okay, maybe you kill like 500 people or whatever, that'd be like, okay, I understand them changing that a little bit, because that was really hard.
Sounds like the Kingdom Hearts 1 Platinum.
Yeah.
You have to beat the entire game without dying.
And without leveling up, right?
Well, they're 3 different trophies. They're complete the entire game without dying, complete the entire game in 15 hours or less, and complete the entire game without changing your equipment. So you can level up, you just can't change your equipment at all.
Dang.
So you have like 12 different slots for like your what is it? Your like chains and your equipment and stuff like that, but you can't put anything in them because
That's
that would
crazy.
be changing your equipment.
Yeah, I would say in that sense, this game is not like Kingdom Hearts at all.
But there isn't even like a beat the game in New Game Plus, or what is it called? Challenge mode?
it's called challenge mode.
Yeah, there isn't like a beat the game in challenge mode. There isn't a fully upgrade all weapons. There isn't even a get every weapon to level 5, which isn't fully upgrading them. That's just getting them to level 5. And then challenge mode, they go to what, level 10, I think?
Yeah, level 10.
And so there isn't even a get the Lombaxes to level 10 either. Like that wasn't even a trophy. It just happens, but like it's not a trophy. Getting all the 25 gold bolts isn't a trophy. So like it's just kind of silly. Like beat the game on the hardest difficulty isn't a trophy. It's like, dude, these are like, the game is prime for that kind of stuff. Just throw it in there. It'd be a lot more fun. I still probably wouldn't have it at this point and would still be enjoying playing the game.
Yeah,
But
same here.
I'm kind of, I don't go back to games very much after I've platinumed them, at least games like this.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of, I'm kind of sad about it, because people like me who need something to chase as far as like a video game goes, like need some kind of goal in mind. Normally the ultimate goal for those kinds of games is to platinum it.
Yeah.
And so if I love the game enough, then I'll go back afterward, like Skyrim. I'll go back and play every once in a while, even though I've platinumed it. But this one, I just don't see that happening. But if the platinum was 3 times as hard, I'd probably have 10 more hours into it, and I'd still be playing it, trying to get there and enjoying it. And so I think that's kind of a silly thing. Why didn't they just make it harder?
Yeah.
Especially because, like, this game was pretty easy. Like, I played not on the easiest difficulty, but one up from the easiest, and I think I died like 1 time. That wasn't like, or died 1 time in combat. Like, it was surprisingly less difficult than the first one.
It's funny that you said died 1 time in combat, because I was thinking like, I fell off the edge by myself a lot.
Oh, yeah, no, I died a lot, but it was because I have 0 platforming skills.
I thought like the little dash thing that you can do, like where you phase through things, is super cool, and how you can like you can combo that with like a double jump and stuff too. That kind of stuff was super fun as well.
Yeah.
And it was all just so smooth.
Yeah, it worked very well. I also liked in combat how they put rifts around like the kind of battle arena. Because, yeah, that made combat a lot easier and really fun, because that worked super smooth.
Yeah. It definitely made things more dynamic, especially once they started introducing those pirates with the shields, having those rifts.
I use the ricochet a lot on those guys.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. That's actually, I think so far, that might be my favorite world, was the pirate one. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Pirate one's super cool.
Did you guys see the Pirates of the Caribbean reference in there?
Oh, the dog one. Yeah.
Yeah, the dog one. Where they're
Yes,
in the jail
they
with
were
the
like
bones.
holding the bone.
I was laughing so hard. It's like, this is fantastic. Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
so good.
What did you guys think of the load times of this game?
What load times?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't remember those.
Exactly. I just remember like you load up, you push the button for the game to load up. The game loads up in, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 seconds, which is a lot shorter than it would have on PS4, right? But then when you're like selecting your save, once you click it and you click continue, it's like 2 seconds and you're moving your guy. And it's like, it's just there already. It's just so crazy.
Yeah.
How accessible all the data is on the PS5 is so nice. And it makes sense why you can't play this on PS4. Yeah. What else did you guys think of as far as like how speedy everything was?
It was one of those things that was really cool in the beginning, and then it just became so normal that I don't notice it until I'm like playing another game or something. Which
I just went back to GTA 5 Online, and it's like 4 minutes
oh my gosh.
of load
And you're
time.
like, this is forever.
Even like between missions, it's like 2.5 minutes, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But you know, that game is gonna get a free upgrade here pretty soon, so I'm pretty excited for that.
No, I never really got used to the non-existent load times, especially when you were on the planets that had like those speed bugs, and you would jump through the portal that's on that planet, and you're just in another place, like going insanely fast. That never got old for me. I did that a lot just for fun.
And the pocket rifts too. When you found a pocket rift, you push L1, and the little animation of you pulling it open is the load time of it, essentially. So there's no load times. You pull it open, and then it's literally like a window into another universe. And so you walk in, and the sound completely changes, and you look back, and there's another window you can walk through, the place you just came. It looks exactly like it. I was like standing in the pocket rift, and I like went really close to it and like looked around, and everything was still loaded in there. It's just so cool how
Did you walk
fast
through it
everything is.
backwards?
Yeah.
Go around the back and then come through it. Yeah.
Crazy.
That was like one of the first things I did. I was like, does this work? It was really cool.
Super fun.
Yeah. What did you think of like collectibles? I know we kind of talked about it in regards to the trophies and whatnot. I know there's a gold bolt, which is a standard thing for Ratchet and Clank's games. They introduced the teddy bears,
Krager Bears.
Krager bears. I don't remember if you get anything for getting any of them. I know there's a trophy to get all of them, but
To get all 10, yeah. That's it.
is there anything else? I know they had like playing cards in the 2016 version, which I thought was pretty cool.
Not in this one, yeah. I
Not in this
mean,
one.
nothing that I can think of.
Just the armor pieces and the bolts.
Yeah.
And then getting the Raritanium, but that's so you can upgrade stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been cool if one of the trophies was like break every Raritanium box in the game. That'd have been pretty crazy. Because some of them are hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Another thing is on the mini map, it shows the location of pretty much all of them,
Yeah.
which was kind of underwhelming when you first look at the map, when you first get on a planet and you're like, oh, that's where the gold bolt is. It's like, it took all the work out. Like,
Yeah.
there was one mission. It's when you return to the I think it's the first planet you go to as Rivet, where you have to I think smash every one of these like plants or whatever. And I did all the ones that I could find, and then I saw there was one like way up on a tower thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get to that? That's going to be so exciting to try to figure out how to do that. And then you end up just riding a dragon, and then you kill all the ones that are on top of things. And I was like, oh, it was cool to think that it was going to be a little more in depth than that. But
Yeah.
I spent so long trying to climb up there, and then they're like, just ride this. And I was like, all right. Like,
yeah. There was a lack, aside from the riding the dragon thing, there was no like space. No, you didn't fly any ships or anything, which was a normal thing in Ratchet and Clank up until now, I think, which was a bummer. I always loved that, especially in the older ones where there was like full on space battles where you were flying into ships like little Anakin Skywalker and blowing things up from the inside. That was so much fun. But
That was fun.
all right, in terms of story, we've kind of talked about it. I don't want to, if it's okay with you guys, or we can get into the ending. That's fine. What did you guys think of, like, where the story went? Is it, are you excited for the next one, if there's going to be a next one, or?
yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen. Like, I don't know. I was really confused this whole game because the only other Ratchet and Clank I'd played other than the PS4 one was like the first half of going commando. So where this story starts in the timeline, I was like, I don't even know what's happening. So that kind of threw me off the whole time. But yeah, I'm not sure where they could go. I'm excited for another game though.
Yeah, without spoiling anything, I thought the story was cool. And I liked how there's like two Nefariouses. There's the one that's kind of like the one that they're graduating from, who's like just kind of silly, who's kind of like Doofenshmirtz from...
You're right. Phineas and Ferb.
From Phineas and Ferb, yeah, he's like that dumb. And so it was cool to have like another one that's like actually like an emperor, and he's actually kind of scary as a bad guy. I was like, oh, this is like, there's an actual real bad guy that you're sort of scared of. I really enjoyed that. Kind of added more weight to things instead of just like playing a goofy. It's the difference between like Jack and Daxter and Jack 3. It's that's the difference. It's like, oh, this got real. Or the difference between like Harry Potter 1 and 2 or Harry Potter 7.
Yeah.
This maybe not quite that drastic, but maybe more like Harry Potter 1 and 2 to Harry Potter 5 or something. But yeah, I enjoyed the more realistic parts of it, but then always still little silly things like on Rivet's planet, everyone's name is Mort there. They're just called the Morts. And everyone's name is Mort. I thought that was pretty funny. Like just a little, little goofy things like that. I just feel like, all the things they tried to do, they nailed. I feel like they could have tried to do more. Like they could have added extra little places that are hard to find. like in what's like the original Super Mario, like how there's like a million different secret locations. Like they could have put so many cool secret locations in this game that would have just put it to the next level. And that, I mean, that's not to knock it because the game's really good, really good, but it could be like great, could be like one of the greatest games. And I'm kind of excited to see where PlayStation 5 goes as far as games, and Insomniac too, where they go from here. Because, you know, this is like their first game running straight. This is Insomniac's first game running straight on PS5 with no PS4 port at all. So I'm just kind of excited to see what other people come up with to make them more expansive and big and cool. So I'm excited for the future.
Yeah. I definitely, from what I've played, definitely get that. I love the genre of 3D platformers. I think we definitely could use more, or I could definitely use more of them, I guess. And even with some of my qualms with Ratchet, how he's treated, I guess now, I still loved his character, and he made me laugh a lot. So it's still a good character. It's just different from what I, would remember, I guess. But yeah, I think Insomniac has consistently been crushing it since, honestly, even since the 2016 Ratchet, even before Spider-Man PS4 came out.
Yep.
They're so, they nail it every single time. And so I'm very excited to see.
I just wish the platinums were harder.
We'll see with Spider-Man.
I've gotten 5 platinums out of their 4 games because I platinumed the Spider-Man on PS4 and PS5, the original one. And they're pretty easy. Make them harder. You know? It shouldn't be that easy to get them all.
Yeah. We'll see. I'm hoping Spider-Man 2 is a PS5 exclusive.
That would be cool.
A lot of the upcoming exclusives are going to be cross-generational, which I think will be good, especially since a lot of people still don't have a PS5, and it's not like PS4 games don't perform well or anything. It's with the PS5, it's mostly load times and frame rate stuff, which isn't a huge deal. But yeah, exciting stuff ahead for sure. We have a little bit more time left. Do you guys have anything else you want to say on Ratchet and Clank, or do you want to talk about just general game stuff?
I mean, are we going to grade it?
Yeah,
later?
I was thinking. Yeah, let's rate it.
Should we grade it now?
Yeah, let's do that. Micah, do you want to go first? Micah, Jordan,
Sure,
and then
I'm ready. So I'm gonna grade it a B+. I'm gonna give it like an 88%. I think it's fantastic, but to be an A or A+ game, it needed harder trophies. It needed, more. It needed me to want to keep playing it more, and I didn't feel that as much. There could have been. It would be cool if just like Square Enix does all the time, where after you beat the game, there's 3 more worlds that you haven't been to yet, that you can go to now in your ship. That maybe there's still bad guys at those places or whatever. That would be super cool, like a little after the original gameplay to keep us playing. I would have loved that, and I think just that alone would have brought it up to like a 94, 95. But I mean, load times are great. Gameplay is super smooth. Characters are awesome. Overall, really, really great game. B+ for me.
Right on. Jordan?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same ballpark. I'd give it like an 85. A lot of the things that I like the most about it are kind of more next generation, like PlayStation 5 based. So I think as we get longer or farther along in this console and when more games come out, the grade actually might go down a little bit. But that being said, I still really enjoyed the story. I actually really enjoyed how it was kind of easy, because a lot of video games I'm not good at, so it takes me a long time to play them. And if they're story driven, I lose interest pretty quick, or I can't follow the plot. and this didn't have that for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a lot of fun playing it, and I really enjoyed it.
Nice. Let's see. Oh man, this is gonna sound a little weird. I think I would rate it like a 90, A minus. I haven't beaten it yet. And I won't lie. A big reason why I would rate it a 90 is because I am in love with the photo mode. It's so good.
Insomniac's photo mode is very good.
It crushes everyone else. If they mixed Insomniac and Sucker Punches with like the moving backgrounds and stuff, I think, oh my gosh, I would pay for a game.
Oh,
that's
you mean
just
like
that.
in Ghost of Tsushima?
Uh-huh. Yeah, and you can like mess with the particle effects and stuff.
You can have some of the particle effects still move in Ratchet and Clank,
That's true, like the guns and stuff.
and like some of the lights in the background.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy playing this game. I am really excited to go back to it as soon as I have time. And yeah, I think it excels at everything it tries to do, minus the making me care for like the the like overarching lore or narrative. I really like the characters, and the little moments with them I think are really good. It's how this all connects back to the 10 games before it. I think they should have either just done a reboot or gone headfirst into this is a continuation of the story. It seems like they're trying to dip their toes in both pools, and I don't think it necessarily works all that well. But I mean, with 3D platformers, they're just fun to play, and that's what I really like about this. But yeah, so that's it on our Ratchet and Clank review. Do you guys want to quick talk about for the next like 5-ish minutes games we've been playing recently? I'll go with one. I haven't played a lot of games super recently, but the last game I played that I would also like to get back to is Need for Speed Heat, and I think I've talked about it on the podcast before. I think it is a criminally underrated game. I absolutely love this game. It does really.
Does it have a PS5 upgrade?
I don't think so. But
But it looks good.
yeah, it looks awesome. It's a EA game, so say what you will about EA, they always look very good. But this game is really cool because it has a day-night, not a day-night cycle, but you can play during the day, which is more Need for Speed Pro Street style. You're racing in like official street races for money. They have the crowds and they're like, yeah, this is great. And the flags and everything's blocked off on the roads and stuff. And then if you switch to the night, then you're doing illegal street racing. And you're playing for rep.
For pinks.
Yeah. And then that's where the cops come in. There are cops in the day, but you rarely get into cop chases during the day. And so then, you have to unlock money to buy things, but you have to unlock rep to unlock things. And then they do the Dark Souls thing where at night you gain rep. Let's say you gain 40,000 rep. If you get arrested, all of that rep is gone. And then once you get farther in the game and your heat goes up enough each night, it resets every time you go back to your garage or you reset the night. But let's say you get to heat level 3, then you unlock special races, and you can go to that, and that's where you race for like the epic parts for your car or whatever. And so let's say you win the race, then you have that part in your car. You get arrested, it's gone. And so you have to decide whether or not you want to like risk it. And the higher your heat is, the higher the multiplier is. So the faster your rep grows, the more you unlock. It's really cool, and I really like it. And it looks, especially at night, the city with all the neon lights and the customization is I think the best it's been maybe ever in a Need for Speed game. It's phenomenal, and it doesn't do that thing that Payback did with the trying to be Fast and Furious with heists and stuff. It's like street racing. It's a story that's structured very much like the original Most Wanted, where you have those like really cheesy cutscenes, and there's a cop out there that's out to get you, and you have a rivalry.
Cross.
Yeah, it's awesome, lots of fun. But yeah.
Jordan, what have you been playing other than Ratchet and Clank?
So after the E3 video that episode that me and Keelan recorded, he convinced me to buy Chivalry 2. So I've been giving that a shot, and I suck, but it's a lot of fun. It's a really cool game. I'm excited to start playing it more. And then, so I've been bouncing between that and Overwatch on my PC. I just have so much fun playing that game, wrecking people sometimes in Mystery Heroes. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Very cool. I've been playing Fortnite. Actually, though, it's one of the only ways I can stay in contact with like my cousin who lives in Idaho, and it's one of the only ways I can play video games with my wife together, because that's like the only thing she'll play. I also stay in contact with some friends, a friend named Richard who just moved to Arizona, and so it's a way that I connect back to a lot of people, which is a lot of fun. Plus, my TV is 120 hertz, so I can play Fortnite at 120 frames a second on my TV, which is super nice.
That's insane.
So smooth, buttery smooth, and it stays at 120 the whole time because, PS5. So that's super nice. I've also been getting back into GTA Online. I always come back to it. Every once in a while, I always go back to it. It's just a great stress reliever.
That's not been my experience with GTA Online.
Oh, really?
It just increases. I get really
people
into it.
don't mess with me in that game though.
Oh, that must be nice.
Yeah, it is kind of nice. But yeah, they just released a new update called Tuners. It's basically, so before GTA was like, you could go and get jobs and do jobs for people, and then they added all these heists to it, and now there's like I think 9 or 10 different heists, and they keep adding more heists, and now you can be like the owner of a gun running business, or the owner of an air freight business, or a cargo business, or all these different things. Well, now you can street race, where they set up actual street races where there's no cops and stuff like that, like you said, Keelan, when there's like people cheering and stuff like that, and it's really cool. They just added like 8 more vehicles. So they just added like a Toyota Supra, a Mazda Miata, a Mazda RX-7. So they added a lot of really cool like cars from like Fast and Furious 1. And all the customizations are super awesome. I bought a Supra and made it look like it's straight out of the movie. Not his Supra, but it looks like it could be in Fast and Furious 1. So it's super, super fun. I hope that more of my friends start playing it, because it's fun by yourself, and they've made it better to play by yourself, because there's a lot of heists now that you can do by yourself if you want. Because before you had to like go find normal random people online if none of your friends were online, and that's just terrible, because someone's connection crashes, you have to start the whole thing over, and it's just a nightmare. But now you can do them with 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people, and so that's super, super fun, just kind of mobbing around with people. So yeah, I've been playing that a lot. I always go back to it. Every 9 months or so, it'll be my game for that 9th month of the year or something like that. So I always go back to it. Sometime in the summer I'll play it, and so you guys should jump on with me though, because it would be super fun. I'll help you make some money in GTA Online.
I'm definitely down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been playing that one quite a bit. It's a blast. What were you gonna say, Jordan?
I was gonna say that was my biggest problem with GTA 5 Online. Is every time I try and get back into it, I'm like, I'm broke and I can't earn money by myself. So
I got you, dude. I got you.
What's that? All right, talk to yourselves really quick. I got a friend really quick who wants to say hi.
Oh no. Who do you
shouldn't
think
be
it's gonna
worried.
be, Jordan?
Cheaper by the dozen.
I don't think it's gonna be cheaper by the dozen. I think it's gonna be. I can't remember what his friend's name is. I feel bad, but he was in an episode last
I just
week.
listened to it. What was it?
Dirty Dan or something. Dustin. I
Crazy
don't remember.
Chris? I don't know. That might not be right.
Oh man, do you have GTA on your PlayStation?
I don't think it's on my PS5.
Hey, it's me, Crispy Kevin.
Crispy Kevin.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, Crispy Kevin?
Hey, I heard you're talking about Ratchet and Clank, huh?
Yeah, man.
I've been watching a lot of Phantom Menace. I'm working on my Watto impression.
I was gonna say, is this a different accent?
That's great. That's so good.
Yeah, I like the game a lot. It's a lot of fun. Shoot
Good to
the
see you,
aliens.
Crispy, man. What you been up to, Crispy Kevin?
Oh, you know, frying.
Frying what?
Listen, I don't want to keep you guys waiting. What do you say we make like a tree and get out of here, huh?
Sounds good to me, man.
All right.
Sounds
Thanks
good
for
to
listening.
me.
Hey, if you support my friend Keelan and Micah and Jordan and all them at that Flix and Clix thing, thank you. On Patreon, thank you. Thanks. Top Gun is a good movie.
I thought maybe if we was having a roast chicken one night or something.